Yeah. You know, we've met the enemy and they are us. In my case, it's me. If I would just calm down and be unmanly and listen to my wife, it would really work out. But I get so impatient about things because it looks like, have you ever said this? This will never work out. It's impossible. Have you ever said that? Well, let's look at Zechariah 4:7. And what we have here is a king here who's getting ready to rebuild. His name is Zerubbabel. And he's the king of Israel. And he has a job of rebuilding the temple. Now, the temple he was rebuilding would be, of course, a monumental task. How would you build a temple? And a city that had been in ruin. He's got a job that looks like it's impossible. Let's read here in Zechariah chapter 4, verses 4 through 7. And I said to the angel who talked with me, what are these, my Lord? And the angel who talked with me answered me, do you not know what these are? I said, no, my Lord. And he said to me, this is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel, the king. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts. What are you, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel you shall become a plain, and he shall bring forward the top stone amid shouts of grace. Grace to it. But notice, not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord. Why are we always concerned about how things will work out? And many times we judge success and failure on our own ability. Folks, we can't do it. I heard a sermon years ago, and the minister said this: it is impossible to live the Christian life. To which I thought, oh, thank you very much, I need to hear that. But then he went on to say, that's not a negative. It's impossible, but with God all things are possible. And God is not in the business of letting it in. Now, as you know, back in May, we signed a contract on a house in Clarksburg. It's a wonderful house. I have not been in it since then. And every time we turn around, something happens. Well, now we went to a different mortgage company. I think, in retrospect, we are getting a 0.5% better interest rate now. That's a good thing. But I think if anything I've learned, I've got to be patient. Why am I so impatient? I start a day, and I'll say to myself, I am not going to let things dictate my life. I'm going to start today with a good attitude. I am going to be Christ-like in everything. I'm not going to get angry over trivial things. Getting mad doesn't change the situation, does it? Just yelling at people change the situation? I was at a store one time and a guy said, oh, I messed this up, you're going to yell at me? I said, let me ask you, if I yell, will it solve the problem? Well, of course not. Then there's no need to yell. That's the attitude they have. So one morning I got up and I decided, today is the day of good attitude. I'm going to let God do it. Not by my ability, but by the Spirit of the Lord lead my life. Now I'm going to give a little advice. My car is parked out there, that blue Cadillac. If you're in a bank drive-through, don't get behind me. I'm serious. I have the worst luck. So we get there. I'm riding in, I'm going to make a deposit. And actually, there's a Kobe bank, I go there for a church account, and I'm going to be Mr. Nice Guy and take the deposit. See, I'm on this good attitude thing. And I get there, and this guy is sitting there, and I pull up, and then there's, it's kind of like a gamble, you got 3 cars over here, you ever do that, and you change lanes. So I'm over here, and I think, that lane looks a little slow. I'm going to move over here. And that guy was already there. All of a sudden, I see some guy writing. When you see writing, this is a bad sign. Meanwhile, car 1, car 2, I can't believe it. So now I'm thinking, this is not good. I'm ready to honk my horn and start yelling. But remember, I got this good attitude. Character development. I got to be Christ-like. Plus, somebody might see me as a minister yelling at some guy that could go over town. So finally, I back out of that spot, and I go back to the other spot. And finally, I get through. When I left, that guy was still writing. When I did get up, I did do one thing I should. The lady says, "Hi, how are you today?" I said, "Is this where you open up a new account?" She goes, "No, sir, you have to come inside." I said, "What's talking about? It left me then." She said, "Okay, whatever." She said, "What can I do for you?" She wouldn't do that. But why do we let that happen to us? Well, in this case, the temple needs to be built. We know about Israel. They would be doing good and everything would be fine. Then all of a sudden, they kind of get away from the Lord. Have you ever got to a place in your Christian walk where you've lost a little bit of your zeal? Honestly. You're kind of, you've been a Christian a while and things are going pretty good. And all of a sudden, you got to stay on top of it as a Christian. Would you agree with that? You really do. And in this case, if you're not careful, it's easy to say, well, I just can't do it. But remember, God can. And I truly mean that. Not by might, not by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord. I remember I had an evangelist called Bob Taylor who lived in Southwest Ohio. My wife was very well. He was kind of a boisterous he didn't need a PA system, but that he was quite bold in preaching. But he said something I always remember. He said, in your belief, you believe in a big God or a little bitty God. I thought it was kind of intriguing. And later on, we talked about that. And he went on the sermon to say, what kind of a God do you believe in? If you believe in a limited God, then you're going to miss blessings. But if you believe in a powerful, mighty God that can do all things, then God can really use you.